The Quran respects and recognizes the revelations given to earlier prophets, such as Moses, the Torah, and Jesus, the Gospel.
Han Meditations.
Hey guys, as you can see, I have all these journals. The link will be in the description. Hello guys, I am Han. This is Kelly.
Hi everyone.
We are Han Meditations. As you can tell, we got our microphones fixed. We had a slight problem with our microphones, but we diligently and quickly handled it. So hopefully the quality sounds perfect for you guys. So today we have an interesting video because we learned in another video about that the Quran itself confirms the Torah. And I remember hearing it through our ChatGPT videos and just learning a little bit about it. But now I really want to delve more into it, really hear what it has to say and why that is. Because why would the Quran be endorsing another religion's book? I know that it talks about Christians and Jews even, maybe I believe, as people of the book. But we're going to find all that out today because every time we do one of these videos, we have no idea where they're going to go.
Absolutely.
So that's the real fun in it. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Hello, ChatGPT. I learned by talking to you that I believe you said that the Quran itself confirms the Torah. Can you tell me more specifically, what do you mean by confirming the Torah? And why would the Quran, a religious book for Muslims, confirm the book of another religion? And does it confirm the Old Testament of the Bible as well and other Christian literature?
Yes, you're absolutely right. The Quran does reference the Torah, and it describes itself as confirming previous scriptures, including the Torah and the Gospel, referred to in Arabic as the Tawrat and Injil, respectively. Let me break it down a bit. 1. What does confirming mean in this context? When the Quran speaks of confirming previous scriptures, it generally means it acknowledges these texts as having originally come from God. The Quran respects and recognizes the revelations given to earlier prophets, such as Moses, the Torah, and Jesus, the Gospel. The Quran sees itself as part of a chain of divine revelation, not replacing but completing and clarifying the messages given in those earlier books. 2. Why would the Quran confirm other religious books? In Islamic belief, God sent guidance to different communities throughout history, each with revelations suited to their time and context. According to the Quran, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all originate from a common monotheistic tradition and were meant to lead humanity to worship one God. By confirming these earlier books, the Quran emphasizes continuity in God's message and aims to unite followers of different faiths under a shared recognition of one God. 3. Does the Quran confirm the Old Testament or Christian literature? The Quran primarily speaks of confirming the Torah, and Injil Gospel. In Islam, the Torah is considered the original revelation given to Moses, and the Gospel is the revelation given to Jesus. However, the Quran does not specifically name the Old Testament or New Testament as they exist today. Instead, it acknowledges the essence of the original teachings, which Muslims believe have since undergone changes and may not fully reflect the original messages. How does the Quran view the authenticity of current texts? While the Quran confirms the original messages, it also notes that over time, these scriptures may have been altered or misinterpreted. Thus, the Quran often presents itself as a corrective measure aimed at restoring the purity of monotheistic teachings. This is why, for Muslims, the Quran is considered the final, unaltered revelation that safeguards the core message intended by the previous scriptures. So in summary, the Quran's confirmation of the Torah and the Gospel is part of its recognition of a shared prophetic tradition, acknowledging the common roots of Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, while also positioning itself as the final and clarified message from God.
Wow, you know, that's really interesting, and I'm going to explain exactly why. Because whenever you really think about it, if you believe in Christianity, if you believe in Judaism, you should get to a point where you actually believe in Islam as well, because it's a list of prophets that go, you know, back in time, and it's just that's the last of the basically like the olden time prophets that once lived. Because I mean, really think about it. In the Quran, it's not saying that these things are wrong, but you're basically saying that the Bible was altered, which it was. Then you're going back and you're saying that, the Torah was correct and the gospel of Jesus was correct. I mean, who can't agree with those sentiments right there? Because it's not that complicated to really think about. Those things together make a lot of sense, and a lot of people aren't realizing it. This is really a religion for people that, want to have things make sense. Because if you think about it, if you went through all the list of the prophets and the different people, most people aren't even educated on the different prophets and what they did. And they just walk around, hey, I'm a Christian, or, I'm a Jew, or whatever it is. And they don't really, look at it in that sense and study it. I mean, there are people that do, don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying the majority of people don't dedicate their life to studying the books and religion and learning about God as a whole. So it really just makes sense to say, hey, the Torah was actually from God. That makes sense because it's in the, succession of the different prophets like Moses. So the Torah was correct. Then you have the gospel from Jesus. That's what God gave him. They're saying that is absolutely correct. But the Bible and the Old Testament itself, Christians and Jewish people are people of the book, but they're not necessarily, the same thing because they're not acknowledging the end of the book, the last chapter, essentially. They're acknowledging, partially, hey, this is the first part of the book. We're going to take this, we're going to believe in that, and we're not going to believe in the whole as a totality, because it's like, what are you really doing? How are you really disqualifying the Prophet Muhammad from being a prophet? That's what I'd ask a lot of Christians and Jewish people. How do you disqualify him if you qualify other certain prophets? How do you disqualify him?
Yeah, and I mean, it's like Islam, validates these other religions. So why can't Prophet Muhammad be essentially treated with the same respect? You know what I mean? Like the Quran acknowledges the Torah, acknowledges Christianity, that there is validity in that, but that things just need to be kind of cleaned up, a little more clear cut without any woo-ha going on or anything up for interpretation that could go left. And that's what had to happen. But to me, that actually gives a lot more validity to Islam, honestly, the fact that it does recognize these other religions, and it's not like a competition thing, and where it's like, oh, we just wanted to start our own religion and the ego thing. You know what I mean? Like, if it actually acknowledges these other ones and just saying, hey, it's all love, we just had to, clean up the edges a little bit, that actually is that's very valid to me.
Yeah, because it really seems unbiased in a sense. We're saying, hey, no, we agree with these things. These are true. And, the stuff that it's saying in Judaism and the Torah, this is absolutely true. This came from Moses. He's one of our prophets as well. Yeah, this is beautiful. And then what Jesus said, of course we agree with that. That's the gospel. God gave it to him. How can you take those things and not immediately realize that there is a almost like a concerted effort to just, not teach that, and it's almost just straight ignorance what people think of Islam. So it's really a beautiful religion, and when you really learn about it and study it, it actually makes a lot of sense. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for liking the video, commenting, and subscribing. We love you guys. We're so grateful you guys are here with us. We're going to learn a lot more together. Stay tuned with us, and thank you guys for donating. We see every single one of your donation, guys, and we appreciate it so much. It makes us so happy and proud to be doing this kind of work and spreading the word of God. So thank you guys for being here. We love you, and we'll see you
in the next video.